Welcome to the final blended learning lesson. We've made it. So today's lesson, we're changing everything and we're having a bit of revision of conflict and tension. So we're going to be looking at the Treaty of Versailles, nice and easy. So we're looking at whether the treaty was actually fair. So the first learning objective that everybody must make sure they understand is to know who the big three were and what their aims were. The second learning objective is to understand the terms of the Treaty of Versailles. So we're referring to LAM here. And finally, we need to judge whether it was fair or not, and maybe fair for who. So we've got some keywords on the board. Make sure you pause the video now to look at those keywords. So the first learning objective is to know the aims of the big three. So we need to know who the big three were and what did they want out of the Treaty of Versailles. So we'd like all students to watch the video and to complete one of the tasks below. Developing students, I would like you to draw an image that represents each of the big three and their aim. So just one image, please, of each one. Secure students, could you explain why the three aims for each of the big three, what they actually were, and why they wanted these aims? So we're going to talk about Georges Clemenceau, what was his aim, and why did he want this aim for the Treaty of Versailles? And then master's students, you're going to complete the secure, but could you please rank the aims of the peacemakers from lenient, so they want to be quite nice to Germany, to the most harshest. So they want to really severely punish Germany. And then take a picture of your completed task and upload to class charts. The second learning objective is to understand the terms of the Treaty of Versailles. So whenever we talk about the Treaty of Versailles, we talk about LAM, which stands for land, army, money and blame. So we'd like all students again to watch the video and then to complete one of the three tasks below. So developing students, you're going to write the terms of the Treaty of Versailles in each of LAM. So you're going to give me one example of land, one example of army, one example of money, and one example of how Germany were blamed. Secure students, we would like you to create a mind map with at least two examples for LAM. So if we're going to be looking at land, you would need two examples of how Germany had land removed from them, or they were reduced in their land size. And then you're going to explain the impact that this would have had upon Germany. Master's students, you're going to complete secure as well, but we would like you to add in a final judgment who would have been the most satisfied with the Treaty of Versailles. So you're going to link back to the previous learning objective. Who is happy with what's happened to Germany, if anyone? The third learning objective is to judge whether the treaty was fair. So we'd like you to open and read the document, The Impact of the Treaty, and developing students, we would like you to create a table in your book or on a piece of paper or a whiteboard and decide whether the statements are fair or unfair. So you do not need to write down the whole of the statement, you just need to write down the number in your table. Secure students, we would like to complete developing as well, so you've still got to decide whether they were fair or unfair. But do you think the treaty was fair on Germany overall? So how do you think Germany would have felt about this? Could you explain your answer using your knowledge from today's lesson? And master's students, we would like you to complete the table as well, just like the developing students. Can you create that table of fair and unfair? But could you identify the physical, economic and political impact? So could you colour code them or put them into a separate group? So anything that has physically impacted on Germany, so it's taken away maybe 10% of their land. Economic, I think, is straightforward, anything to do with money, but obviously if you've taken away a very important industrial region of Germany, it will have an impact on physical impact and an economic impact. And then political impact. So we're referring to who's in charge of the country and maybe how much of a say they have of the country. Once you've done that, you can take a picture and upload to class charts. Okay then, Year 11, so you need to upload an image of the big three with their aims and motivations. You need to upload an image of the terms of the Treaty of Versailles, whether you've used your LAM or your mind map. And you need to make a judgment about whether the Treaty of Versailles was fair or not with your table. Well done for participating in this week's learning, and we are really looking forward to teaching you tomorrow.